So this is exciting. Hillary Clinton is back in the news, and this video clip is going absolutely viral. You are about to watch her get smashed, and by a Democrat supporter nonetheless. Now, although this guy gets frustrated, he has some very valid points, and Hillary just crumbles, loses control, comes off weak and disconnected. So let's go ahead and play this video clip, and afterwards I'm going to give you the truth breakdown.
By the hypocrisy
of
this,
two more people to hear from.
I'm sorry.
You have a chance. Well, I'm not sorry. You sit down.
I know you're not sorry. That's the point. The hypocrisy of this speech. The hypocrisy of the fact that what do you have? Can you please make a statement about President Joe Biden's speech? This is a clearly warmongering speech. President Joe Biden is calling for $100 billion of funding for Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine, and we're supposed to just bundle these together and pretend like we're going to rush to World War III, and we're all just going to let Hillary Rodham Clinton sit here. Okay.
I'm sorry. You know, this is not the way to have a conversation.
I'm sorry.
If you want to have a conversation, you're welcome to come talk to me afterwards.
You can sit here. Okay, right. You're gonna wait for me, right? Please, I do not believe you.
And I will listen to you, and I will respond to you.
I do not believe you. Respectfully, I do not believe you. And the fact of the matter is that the American people's voice are what need to be heard.
Yeah, they are being heard.
Because our president is not speaking for the American people, and neither are you.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Yes, that's my opinion.
Well, then sit down. We've heard your opinion. Thank you very much. Now we're going to
turn
to people who are
I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop
working on behalf of human rights.
I'm going to exercise my free speech
it's not free speech when you are disrupting everybody else's opportunity to speak.
This is free speech, everyone. This is free speech. That is not free speech. This is people constructing narratives that are openly hypocritical. I'm sorry. The incredible hypocrisy.
You know, maybe you could actually
went with Eleanor Roosevelt to bring this Declaration of the Rights of Man. John Foster Dulles was involved with the CIA.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're brilliant in your historical cherry picking.
The Pinochet regime.
Listen.
Could you please inform me about the United States?
Okay,
we're
going to move on to
will you denounce Joe Biden?
Will you denounce Joe Biden's human rights, not just yelling about it? So, Frank, I want to turn to you because you are from Uganda, and Uganda's 2023 Anti-Homosexuality Act criminalizes LGBTI conduct in Uganda.
Push us to World War III.
Now, I definitely don't agree with everything this guy is saying. He is certainly a part of the loony left, but he absolutely has some valid points. And notice how Hillary never once addresses any of his points. All she tries to do is silence him, tell him to sit down and be quiet and let her move along. Now, when this guy is saying hypocrisy, he's absolutely right because this forum here is supposed to be about human rights. Meanwhile, leading us closer and closer to World War III. It could be more against human rights than leading the world into a massive global conflict, which could have dire consequences. But the political elite do this all the time, which you are very aware of. When any real concern comes up to them, they don't genuinely address it with truth. They look upon us like we're peasants, disregard us, disrespect us, and treat us like we're expendable. And talking about expendable, this guy better be careful. I mean, a little bit of a joke here, but honestly a little serious as well. Anyone who crosses paths with Hillary Clinton like this, they generally don't end up doing that well in the future. So somebody really needs to make sure that they check on this guy a lot. If he has any friends or anything like that, absolutely be calling him every single day. What Hillary Clinton and others like her don't understand is that there is a huge divide occurring even in the Democrat Party. You do have a large amount of people who are part of that far extreme left off the deep end. It's a much bigger amount of people than you would realize. I know they try to keep telling you it's a small group, a fringe group. It is not. It's a very large group of people, but there is a growing group who are starting to realize the truth. These people don't care about you, and they are not who you think they are. So often people think that the Democrats are the side that doesn't go to war, doesn't try to get us involved in global conflicts. That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if anything, right now, it is the Democrat side of things that is getting us more and more involved in all of these global conflicts. In Ukraine, as he said, Taiwan, Israel is a little bit different. Now, I personally don't believe that America should put boots on the ground. I don't think we should put our own military engagement in there. But I am absolutely fine. And I've gotten some pushback from some comments where people disagree with me. That's okay too. Disagreement is okay here. I am absolutely fine with the United States supporting Israel, is my personal belief. Israel allows people to live in freedom and liberty. They don't kill people for deciding to live how they want, whether or not you disagree with it or not. They don't kill people for having different belief systems than them. They don't go out and do these terroristic activities, although people will claim that they do. I'm not saying that Israel has handled this entire situation perfectly. They haven't. But from the very beginning of them getting that land back in 1948, they were immediately attacked by 5 different Arab nations all around them. Nobody likes to bring that up. And they won. And how do you think all of those Arabs and Muslims got that land anyway? Do you think that fairy dust just fell out of the sky and somehow they inherited that land? No, they conquered it. Muhammad started Islam in Saudi Arabia around 610. Afterwards, you had these Islamic caliphates that grew in power very quickly, expanded northward, westward, eastward, and they conquered different territories. They took over people groups through warfare. And when they took over these different people groups, they instituted taxes on them. They treated them subhumanly, and they took over land where Israel already was. Israel was there far before any Palestine was there. Palestine only became a thing during the Roman Empire, thousands of years after Israel's descendants had already laid claim to that land. Now, once the Romans ended up calling it Palestine, and you had this huge Arab group that conquered the land, and you have a lot of history go down, you end up having the Holocaust go down, and then this land eventually, Balfour Declaration, of course it's done by European elites, but it is given back to Israel. Now, Israel makes a bunch of concessions. They were supposed to get Jordan and all of Israel. They conceded giving up Jordan. Then they were supposed to get all of Israel, and they said, no, that's okay, we'll just take a part of Israel. They took the worst part of Israel, and this is after the Holocaust. You would think that the Arab nations around them might have some sort of remorse and concern for what just happened to this people group and say, hey, listen, these people, they have a long history here. We should maybe not attack them right away. Nope. 5 Arab nations immediately attack Israel. Who's talking about this? Who's talking about how these Muslim Arabs conquered this land and took it over from other people? And then when Israel was given their land, attacked them immediately. And Israel cleaned them up. If Israel wanted to, after that initial attack, they could have taken all of Israel and all of Jordan if they wanted to, but they didn't. They stopped. They were like, no problem. Listen, we're not going to take everything. We're going to definitely gain a little bit of land here. But at this point, you attacked us, you lost. It's over. Okay. Now, of course, it was never over, because that just becomes the beginning of continuous decade after decade of terrorist actions on the part of the Arabs. Now, if you talk to Palestinians, the Israel needs to get out of there. I'm going off a little bit here. Needless to say, the United States of America should absolutely be supporting Israel. I think we should support them defensively. I like the fact that our aircraft carriers are out there. I like the fact that our fleets are out there. It should be defensive. It should be in a way where we say, listen, Iran, you're not going to get involved. Russia, you're not going to get involved. Let Israel and Hamas figure this thing out. We're going to keep our eye out on Israel. Israel, we want you to limit civilians here as much as you possibly can. And Israel is attempting to do that. Nothing is perfect in this situation, especially when you have a terrorist organization that is willing to use people as human shields. And that is what, in fact, they are doing. They are hiding behind civilians. They are hiding behind hostages. They are hiding in hospitals and in schools. And Israel is doing their very best to limit the amount of deaths. I mean, if Israel wasn't, they would have wiped out millions of people already. But of course, that hasn't happened. And they're literally telling people to move, to get out, and where they're going to attack, what they're going to do. Obviously, the world is going to turn against them, because it's what the world always does, even when you've seen, just disgustingness happen. You remember 9/11 in the United States of America. Did the world go, oh, United States of America, don't really go that hard in Afghanistan? No, nobody was telling us nothing. The United States of America went real hard into Afghanistan. The United States of America basically occupied that place for like 2 decades. And then what about Iraq, when the leader said that they had weapons of mass destruction? Did they say, oh, United States, don't go that hard into Iraq? The United States did, remember, shock and awe. It wasn't really that shocking or awe. It was pretty much expected what we were seeing on TV, but it was just an absolute barrage of that place. Nobody said, hey, what are you doing here? They didn't even attack us. Iraq didn't even attack the United States of America. Israel has been directly attacked. They've been engaging now for 2 weeks, and the world is like, hey, it's time for you to stop. I wonder what any other country, I wonder what Russia would do if another country invaded them and then slaughtered their babies, raped their women, took hostages. I bet you Russia wouldn't be like, oh, okay, that's fine. I wonder what China would do. I don't think they would be fine with that. What would the United States do? But somehow, when it's Israel, that terroristic, colonizing country, how bad they are, well, they need to stop, regardless of the actual history of that land. Again, keep in mind, I'm not necessarily all down with everything that Israel has done in the past. So regardless, refuting his point there, these political elite are absolutely trying to get us involved in another world war. They are pushing buttons with Russia. We are way too involved in Ukraine right now. Way too involved. Ukraine is none of our business, in all honesty. I mean, this is a part of the world that has much more of a historical connection with Russia than we ever have had with these two countries. It would be like if Texas in the United States of America ended up seceding away from the U.S. historically, and it ended up actually working, and they became their own little country, their own little thing. And then eventually we started having some conflict with them back and forth. And then Russia was flirting around with making Texas a part of a Warsaw Pact and a part of a Russian ally. You think the United States would put up with that kind of crap? That's what we're doing with Ukraine. Ukraine is a part of, or was a part of, Russia historically in the past. And so we need to get out of Ukraine right now. And we need to be strong. We need to be resilient. We need to be clear in what our intentions are. But we do not need to be doing stupid things like sending hundreds of billions of dollars overseas to places that we have no business doing that. Sending our own military equipment, no business. Defending Israel, protecting Israel, providing them with aid, absolutely. But these hypocrites, they're all in on this. And you know the truth, they're looking to turn the world upside down right now. I mean, they're outright saying it to us. They're literally telling us we need to switch and change things up. We need to have government-issued digital IDs, digital wallets. We need to institute carbon taxes. I mean, they're saying this. This is not conspiracy. They're literally saying this. We got to take away gas ovens, propane. We need to take away your cars. We need to limit this. You shouldn't actually, let's start experimenting with the 15-minute cities. I know that's a conspiracy, right? They're experimenting with it though. We need to get rid of livestock. These elites are buying up farmland like crazy right now. There is no doubt they're looking at the globe right now and they're saying, well, we need to flip things around. But the problem is most of the people in the world are not down with this. And if you have most of the people in the world who are not down with this, what ends up happening? Well, they need to make you get down with it. So how do you do that? You cause a global conflict and some very serious damage. If you can get some damage going on, then you can get a lot of people to start following you. If you can get something that they're fearful of, all of a sudden people turn into sheep. Just like we saw with COVID. Oh no, COVID's happening, which we now know the United States was funding that lab, although Fauci said that it wasn't happening. They're now investigating him for that because he lied about it, although the media went after Rand Paul when he was showing that this was the case. We also know that it was almost certainly a lab leak. Again, people were saying that Rand Paul and others were wrong for pointing this out, but now we in fact know that that is almost certainly the case. And when they spread this virus out to you all, the same people who told you to isolate yourself, don't see your loved ones, can't visit them in hospitals, wear a mask, a double mask, a triple mask, separate yourself 6 feet. The same people that told you this are the same people that funded and researched and released this thing, essentially. I mean, they didn't purposely release it. I'm not of that opinion. I believe that it was a mishap. I believe that they screwed up big time. They were experimenting with gain of function research. They took this coronavirus, which coronavirus has been around forever. They enhanced it and the thing got out. 3 people in the lab ended up coming down with it. And then of course it spread very rapidly at that point. But what did people turn into after that? Sheep. They turned into sheep. They listened to everything they said. Oh, what do you want us to do? You want us to do this? Okay. Oh, you want us to leave our jobs? Okay, no problem. Oh, you want us to get this experimental jab made by Big Pharma, created in less than a year? No problem. Oh, this is the percentage of how it works? Okay, we absolutely believe you. Okay, 6 feet apart? Oh yeah, okay. What else am I supposed to do? Not see my loved ones? No problem. Don't celebrate Christmas? Absolutely. And then there was people who were fighting for the government when they were saying this. They were ridiculing the people around them, saying, how dare you? You need to listen to God. I mean, when in the world have we ever heard historically that when governments get together with big corporations like pharmaceutical companies, that this is somehow a good thing? I mean, where did that come from? What happened with us? Well, what happened with us is they instituted fear. You think that these global elite aren't very aware that if they can't get some massive global event that strikes fear into the hearts of the over 8 billion people on this planet, that they can't turn things around real quick? They know they can do it. If they don't do this, then they're going to have to do it real slowly. It might take them a really long time to do it. I think some of these people don't really want to wait for that because all they care about is their own interests, their own power, their own money. Hillary Clinton could care less about what this guy was saying. She had no interest in addressing any of his concerns. All she wanted him to do was sit down and be quiet so she could move on with her little speech and continue to preserve all the power, the influence for herself. I would love to see your comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll catch you on the next one.